Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win. It's a rainy Tuesday in Room 442, so why not go back to the past and pull out one of our more popular segments? Red card, yellow card, play on. We give you some statements, polarizing perhaps, and we decide, are they worth a red card in that you disagree vehemently, yellow card in that you can see kind of both sides, or a play on, you agree 100%. All right, we've got two each. Sarah, let's start with you. What's yours?
All right, well, Manchester United, obviously very, very polarizing right now. Manchester United will finish in the top four this season in the Prem.
Will finish.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going
Woo!
red straight away for this.
Chaos.
And this is not me, with any kind of recency bias and jumping on the bandwagon and the narrative that United is in disarray, but they are in disarray right now.
So a little
bit, yeah.
It might be the Liverpool fan in him.
Yeah. Listen, there's good teams in the Prem this year.
Yeah, there
right?
really is.
You got Man City, top four, obviously. Arsenal, top four, obviously. Liverpool look to be bouncing back right now. You got a Brighton. You got a Newcastle who haven't played great so far. You got good teams fighting.
Spurs, interestingly
And
enough.
I was about to get to Tottenham Hotspur. Absolutely, these are good teams. I look at United at the moment. They didn't address their biggest needs in the off season. They're not spending money. Off the pitch, it's been an absolute nightmare so far, and that continues right now with Anthony. So many distractions. It is Erik ten Hag getting the support of his ownership. Is the ownership going to be the ownership in a year from now? There's so many reasons why this should fall apart. So I'm saying absolutely no chance. They'll compete for European football, but I don't see it being Champions League football in the top four. Although there could be 5 teams, of course. Don't forget next season.
You make a ton of good points. And honestly, I had them in my top 4 preseason. I would say play on, but I'm going to go yellow card. I'm going to be on the fence because the injuries concern me. Luke Shaw, Rafa Varane, Martinez, and now you're missing a player like Anthony. As much as I don't like the guy, I don't know what he's done. I'm not even going to get into that, but what he does on the football pitch isn't great. I mean, he can dance with the ball, he can take players one-on-one, but there's no end product there. But they still need that type of player because you need that depth, especially being in the Champions League. And I still think if those players come back and they figure things out and they spend well in January, because I still think they need a striker, top 4 is there for them. Look at Brighton. Brighton has Europe to contend with. As good as they are, they still have to deal with that, and that can hurt some teams. Arsenal also have Europe to deal with. Tottenham, can you really trust Tottenham? And that's me saying this, but can you really trust Tottenham to finish in the top 4? Yes, they're exciting. They're going to score a ton of goals, but they're going to concede a ton as well. And if you look at that center back depth for Spurs, if one of those guys goes down, who's up next? Eric Dyer? Probably not. He looks like he's going to be going out. They just loaned out Davinson Sanchez. So, I think you look at that top 4, you see City, you probably see Arsenal and Liverpool, and that 4th spot should be United if players can come back healthy and they can figure it out, which they've shown that they can do last season.
Okay. Lisandro Martinez, interesting one, eh? Injured for United, yet fully fit to play for Argentina over the international.
Well, again, yeah. I mean, that doesn't look good.
No,
on
it doesn't.
Erik ten Hag.
It doesn't. Not at all. But
you make good points. I mean, the injuries are obviously, it's hard to judge
problem,
this team.
yeah.
And don't forget, this time last year, we were selling the story
Saying
that
the same
United
thing.
are going to be relegated and that Erik ten Hag will be fired in his first year, and they bounced back. They found a way.
Yeah.
He's a good manager. I believe that. But there's so many issues. Look at the Jadon Sancho situation right now at United. There's so much disharmony, it seems, in that group.
But that's like what happened last year. They went through a nice winter transfer window, and then look how they did. They played some great football.
That's why I'm a yellow card too. That's 2 wingers down.
Are you yellow card? It's your question, so
Yeah, I'd say yellow card too. I mean, it's the easy
the
option.
yellow card.
Yeah.
Got the props for a reason.
Got
At great expense.
There are two wingers down. They don't know what they have in Rasmus Højlund, who I forgot to mention. I just said they should find a number 9, but maybe they have one. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. Martial is dead. He looks so
Martial.
disinterested.
He looks like he's always looked. But
Yeah.
and they keep going back to the freaking bucket.
And he's not
expecting-
a true number 9.
No.
Yeah.
He like Rashford, he likes to play off the left, but you're not taking Rashford's spot. So, what are they up front? So they really, if Højlund pans out, I mean, they're going to be obviously a lot better. They need goals.
Did you see Højlund for Denmark? And the post-match, just to the crowd with the speaker, we're going to effing Euro. We're going to effing Euro.
I love that.
It's like, he's got personality, right?
Yeah, he
I want to
does.
see this guy. We haven't seen him yet for United properly. I want to see him. Be interesting.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Oh, United.
All right, Sarah, what's your next one coming up here?
Same idea. But let's shift it over. Obviously, we got to bring in Lionel Messi a little bit.
Oh.
We talked about this week in and week out, but Lionel Messi and Inter Miami will win the MLS Championship.
Charms, I'll let you start with this one, man.
See, if you asked me this even 2 weeks ago,
That's exactly
I
why.
would have had a red card. No chance. No chance.
That's exactly why I've asked.
It's got to be a yellow, I think, hasn't it? Well, and the reason being, they're 2 games in hand, right? And 9 teams kind of sneak into these weird playoffs in MLS this year. And they're 6 points back of that, right? And they're just not losing games. Even without Leo Messi this past weekend, they won 3-2.
Yeah.
They're finding ways to win without Leo Messi. He's back soon as well. And they're playing TFC in the 20th, right? Which is coming up.
Perfect.
It's a gimme. It is.
I tell you, if they get to the playoffs, which is now very possible, they have to be favorites, don't they? If they get there. And I think they can probably find a way to claw themselves into the race, which is remarkable to say the very least. So, yeah, I don't think it's impossible anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts, Albert?
I'm gonna say play on. They're winning without him now, right? He's on international break. They're still winning games.
Yeah.
And there's a report that came out that he's tired. Obviously, he's going to be tired. But I mean, based on what we've seen, I can't discount what this guy is doing. I can't count him out. They're going to get into the playoffs most likely, and you put him into a knockout situation, which we've seen in Leagues Cup, and that's where they thrive.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'm going to go play on. Yes, Inter Miami will win MLS Cup. That's insane. I
You
can't
heard
believe
it
I'm saying
here
that.
first.
But
It's
it's true.
If they do it, it's one of the biggest sports stories
Ever.
ever.
Yeah.
Which is so good for MLS. The dream
Crazy that
start.
Messi has done 2 of the biggest sports stories ever in 1 year.
Is that a double-edged? Is it a double-edged sword for MLS though?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because it's great that Messi went there and he's done this.
Absolutely.
And we're acting as if he's already won MLS Cup, which hasn't happened. But on the flip side, you're like, well, and what's the quality in MLS?
Yes.
No, it's a terrible argument.
It's not a terrible
it?
argument.
It is.
Why?
Why?
Because he's done it everywhere he's gone.
I understand
He's
that.
not
Well, no, he didn't do it in
dominated
PSG.
La Liga or
other
Ligue
factors
1
Yeah, right.
like he's dominating this league. That is absolutely not fair. Sure, he's won everything with those teams, but the way he is dominating and putting these teams in his pocket, looking like he is playing just the
He's not
most
scoring
for
every
fun.
single game. Most
He's
games. Well,
not,
every
but he's
game.
also, if he's not scoring, he's assisting. He's still the best player on the pitch, and there's not even a doubt of in
Right,
my
but you
mind.
think he's arguably the best player in the world still, right?
I'd say-
Arguably, right?
yeah.
That's fair. Okay, so that's fair enough. So you put the best player in the world in any league in the world, he's going to dominate.
He's
Which
not
is
going
what
to
he's
do.
doing.
He would not do what he's doing here in the Prem, La Liga, Serie A, or maybe Germany. I don't think he would.
Why not?
I don't
Not
see
to
why not.
not to
Why
this
wouldn't he?
level. Not
I mean,
to this
he
level.
Just did it. He just did it at the World Cup.
But it's
against the
not
best
to
in the
this
world.
level because the competition is so much higher there. There's a good
no,
chance.
No, listen, I'm not debating that MLS is not an elite league, right? It's a good league. It's improving every year. And not elite, I agree, but it doesn't make the league look bad that he's dominating. I don't see that argument. I just can't get behind that one.
Agree to disagree.
Can't he be happy?
Well, he is happy.
Can't you be happy?
This is why I posed the
I'm
question.
happy too.
You got to find a reason
I think
to
you're
hate
the
MLS,
only
don't you?
one.
No
And
matter what.
I don't hate it. I'm watching the Messi League soccer.
Oh,
There's at the end stands.
I've never heard that one yet.
It's a little.
I don't know. I really hope it happens.
It's
just
gonna
because I love
happen.
sports stories. Do
Yeah.
you see he bought a mansion down there? See this house, 10 million.
Oh no.
Just a cool 10. The small
a 10,
10.
yeah.
The small 10 milli.
It's pocket change.
God.
That's what, a month's earnings for him.
Yeah, wasn't it like 60 minutes on the pitch?
Did he just got a mortgage or he just bought it out?
Come on, mortgage. No chance, dude.
I don't know.
Just cash.
Yeah, just cash.
Yeah, here's the briefcase.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, Ellie. Here's mine. I'll get involved now, shall I? John Herdman back to MLS here and TFC. I know you love talking about TFC. John Herdman must do all he can to convince Lorenzo Insigne to stay at TFC. October the 1st is when Herdman takes over at Toronto FC. They played pretty well the last game. They got a win. Insigne played really, really well. Must John Herdman convince him to stay?
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think so. And I don't think it has anything to do with Herdman or Insigne, but I think like Insigne's talents, we obviously know he still has the ability to play well when he's not injured or when he's on the pitch. But I think for me, it really just seems like mentally he's checked out. He never really seemed to mesh with the city, moving away from Italy. His injuries probably playing into his mental health a bit. Like, I think it might be too far gone. And I don't think that's on anyone at this point. I think it's like, wouldn't you rather just let the player go and use that money for like 3 other players potentially? Like, I just think it's too far gone at this point. And TFC haven't got the best out of him, and it's been almost a year now. Over a year, sorry. So what's the point?
Is there yellow in there? I can't see the yellow. I'm going to throw a yellow ski out there.
A yellow ski.
Yellow ski out there. Because you can look at it two ways. I mean, Lorenzo Insigne isn't the be-all and end-all. There's other players who can come to MLS who are in MLS that can do a job for Toronto FC. And it's going to be up to Lorenzo Insigne to either believe in what John Herdman wants to do or not. And it's going to be up to John Herdman to, put his plan out there, and hopefully all his players buy in. And being a motivator, that's probably going to help his chances of keeping Insigne and getting him on board. But at the same time, if Insigne decides, like, I don't want to be here, I don't like being here, then if I'm John Herdman, I'm like, all right, fine. Then we got to get rid of him and find somebody else, because you can win MLS without having a $15 million player on your squad, right? If you have Herdman, you can put together some good players. There's a lot of good North American players, a lot of players from Europe and South America, really good players coming over to MLS now. So the pool is bigger than it used to be. So you're not confined to just, I need to have this former superstar on my team to win the MLS Cup.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to red card it as well. Yeah. I just think that this current team is so tainted from what's happened this season.
Yeah.
And, Insigne, on his day, still obviously can star in MLS, but hasn't been there when the team's needed him. That's simple. And I think John Herdman comes in with a blank slate, and he can start and build it in his image. If you can get rid of that contract, and that's a big question, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. I don't blame Insigne for sticking around for that kind of money.
No.
There's more rumors about Sebastian Giovinco, by the way. He's been training with the team this week as well.
Throw him in. Right now, why not?
Why not? It's just a PR move. Listen, I would love that to work. Trust me, I would love that to work.
But not to
the
build
TFC
a
fan
new
base
team
deserves
for
that,
next
but
season.
a guy in his late 30s hasn't played.
Yeah, like that's
football
not
in how long?
that's for the rest of the
But
season.
if there was
just for fun.
if there was
Don't
ever a time to see what he's got
Yeah.
in professional regular season matches, it's right now when you're completely out of it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not like you're giving the guy 90 minutes. Maybe you give him a 20-minute cameo, 25-minute cameo.
If he's
See what
earned
he
it
can do.
in training in this tryout, then sure, what the
Yeah.
hell? But I don't know. I don't know how good it looks.
And Herdman doesn't strike me
club.
as a guy who would just throw a player like that in just for the sake of it.
Well, I mean, listen, Herdman's not in charge till the 1st.
That's right.
Yeah.
3
Yeah, you're
games
right.
left, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure he's got some say in what's happening. I'm sure he's talking to Terry Dunfield. But it would be interesting. Listen, from a media standpoint, from an interest standpoint, sign in. Let's see what happens.
Sell out
there's
sell
nothing
out
else to look
BMO for
forward
the
to.
last 3 games,
Yeah.
make some money. Like,
Although
yeah.
I think John Herdman will sell out BMO the last 3 games. I really believe that. It's not often a coach can do that. But that's a popular hire in the fan base, right?
Yeah.
But it's irrelevant, really. I mean, it's all about the off season. What happens there? So I don't know. We'll wait and see. Okay, moving on to my next
What do you got, Sharks?
red card, yellow card. Yeah, it's friendly day for England and
God.
Scotland today.
Oh,
England
perfect.
against Scotland is a must-watch friendly. I know where you guys are going with this. No idea of the historical significance of this match.
I love it. And I love a rivalry. I love a rivalry. We want like that old school football back where
Yeah.
players want to kill each other. Like Roy Keane is in the dressing room wanting to kill referees and wanting to break Alfie Holland's leg. I love that stuff. But this is a friendly. End of story. It's a friendly, Sharks.
Yeah? You agree?
I
think-
agree. There's also like Euro qualifiers happening at the same time that are more important. Personally. So and then
Sharks,
there's
you roll your eyes, but it's true.
like and there's CONMEBOL qualifying for World Cup later. Like that's where the
Later,
priority
after
goes.
this game. This is the appetizer. 150 years. 150 years.
I
The
get it.
oldest.
You're English though.
international
I think that
football
means a
match.
lot to
Yeah.
you.
But you know, but beyond that, because I agree, friendlies are generally speaking pointless, right? That's why the Nations League was invented. right?
Yeah.
They're pointless. But this one, Scotland are 5-0 in qualifying, right? They look relevant for the first time in a very long time. I actually want to see Scotland up against England. Now, we saw them beat Spain, obviously a very good team. Are they for real? Listen, this is friendly. These two teams don't like each other, right?
But do you think
there
they're
used to
gonna
be a
play?
lot of animosity on the pitch when they played each other, even in friendlies. I hope there's some of that back in this fixture because it is great, that grit and that nastiness, that volatility. So I want to see it for that. It could be a crap 0-0. It could be a crap,
Like, are they going to play
friendly
their best
that ends-
players?
Well, I hope Scotland
It'd be
does.
a mixture.
England will
That's
rotate.
what I mean.
England
So
will
it's
rotate
like-
a little bit.
Isn't that at the same time as France and Germany, which is another friendly. I'm not gonna lie, I would watch that over England and Scotland. But I
Why?
also
Really?
I'm
Really?
not I'm
It's the
saying
same thing.
over England and Scotland. I'm not saying over a European qualifying match. I'm just saying if there were those two friendlies on, I would watch this one. It's because you're English. I think it means way more to you.
Yeah,
And
probably.
that I can understand. But for me, I'm looking at the
That's 'cause
teams
you're
right now.
Englishist.
German Germany just fired their coach. They're in turmoil.
There's nothing to watch in Germany.
France, I mean, one of the best teams in the world. That there's just more going on there. If Argentina was playing Brazil in a friendly, I would absolutely watch that. Absolutely every day.
That's similar to the rivalry, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think I'm just saying personally.
You just mentioning like, what if Scotland are for real? They're not for real. I'm sorry, I love Scotland. I love a John McGinn. I love Charlie Adams. Trust me.
Charlie Adams.
Not Charlie Adams. Che Adams.
No, you're right.
Charlie Adams.
Charlie Adams.
But that's
is
right.
relevant,
But Che Adams is what I'm thinking
relevant
about.
10 years ago.
What the hell was I gonna say?
Scott McTominay.
Oh yeah, if Scott McTominay is your top scorer, and I don't know how he's leading
He's
or
actually a pretty
joint
good
top
player.
scorer for Europe.
He's
but
misused at United. He really is.
what should he be used
He
as?
came through as a goal scorer way back when.
So you're gonna put
and
him
then apparently he had a big growth spurt late in his
Right.
teens, became massive,
Right.
and they stuck him in this defensive role.
By the way, I don't want to get any heat from any Scottish fans.
Get
Too
him,
late, mate.
boys!
Too late for that.
I love Andy Robertson. I love everything about Scotland. Liam Cooper, shout out. But they're not for real. They're not even close to England's level. Let's be honest.
But I want to find out.
Oh. Well, in a friendly, you're not gonna find out.
They played at Euro not so long ago, 0-0.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. See, that's exciting. That's perfect.
All right, buddy, you're up.
What was it? Oh, Paul Pogba. So obviously he's in the news for the doping scandal. Still waiting on the B sample to see if it's true. He's on some TRT, testosterone or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going through social media on Twitter and Instagram, and you read articles, and everyone's calling him a wasted talent. And so I posed the statement here: Paul Pogba isn't a waste of talent.
That's
Charmin.
a really great one, that is.
He's 30
I've been
years
thinking
old.
about this. Yeah, wasted talent. He's got a World Cup, and he was not just a part of that squad. He
was the best
integral.
player for that 2018 France World Cup.
He's got,
I would
I think, 5
arguably
Serie A
say.
titles.
4.
Is it 4? 4? Okay, well, still 4 with
Yeah.
Juventus. He's obviously with United.
That was
he
not
had
a
some
good time
great
for him.
moments the first time around. Then he got obviously left.
I'm gonna go. Do you mind?
Now go, please jump ahead. I'm still thinking about
Yeah.
this.
I'm gonna go yellow card because I think that he's accomplished a lot, but I think when we saw him break out onto the scene and we've seen some of the football that he's played and the type of player that he is, we as fans expected a lot more from him. And because of his injuries, constant injuries, he was not able to provide that. I'm so curious to see what Pogba would have been able to do with his career if he didn't have those injuries, because I'd say he'd probably have double the amount of trophies. Like, he was brilliant. But yeah, of course, you look at him now, you're 30. Yeah, he has a World Cup, which it's the biggest thing you can win, right? But we missed so much Pogba time because he was injured and on the sidelines. And then, do you remember when he came to Juve and then he got injured and then the season started again and he was healthy and he got injured in the first game? It's just the constant not being able to be healthy. That to me is for sure wasted. His whole career, no, but there's definitely been a lot of wasted opportunity
There's
for
only
him.
so much you can do about injuries.
Yeah.
But
And is that
there's
wasted?
injuries and then there's
not.
injuries upon injuries upon injuries. There are players that get injured and maybe they'll miss a chunk, but then there are players that are consistently injury, and that is Paul Pogba.
But is it a case with him that, I mean, I don't know this. Is he injured because he wasn't professional enough? Is it just
We don't know.
bad fortune? Or was he not? Was he a little bit soft at times too and didn't want to play through them? We don't know these things, right? Because I agree, you can't say a guy's wasted his career when he's injured. That's not usually his fault or her fault, right? But that's the reason why people are doubting him, because of the injuries. Because when he was at his best and healthy, that last year at Juventus before the Man United switch, he was unplayable, right? And around the time they won the World Cup, unplayable. Best midfielder in world football at the time, I think.
Yeah.
It's probably fair to say. So wasted, no, I'm doing a yellow card because we don't know the details there, right? Yellow card. But I mean, what a force he was. And at 30, like you said, if he gets a 2-year ban, he's done.
Yeah, toast.
It's a real shame.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll
that was
see
a
what
guy that
happens.
was just set up for a move to Saudi Arabia, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah. He went back to.
What do you think about that, Bertie?
No, I don't think I'll go red card. I don't think he's a wasted talent at all. Listen, you mentioned it, 2018 World Cup with France, 2014 World Cup. He was a young player of the tournament. For Serie A, Europa League with Manchester United. People look back at his time at United like it was a complete failure. I don't think it was. He had falling out with some managers. He had injuries, but there was a conversation being had when he was at United. Is he the best midfielder in the world? Like you have those accolades. You're constantly in the conversation for one of the best midfielders in the world during your time. That's far from a wasted talent. There's so many other players who've come and gone who've won absolutely nothing.
He had his own emoji as well.
Yeah,
Who gets an emoji without?
and he had a
wasted
hashtag
talent?
Pog back.
No one.
Yeah, Pog back, Pog boom. Listen, excellent
He
player.
marketed himself really well. Great
Yeah.
marketing.
Listen, you play for France. You lead the French team to a World Cup.
Yeah.
You're one of the
Yeah,
best to do
yeah.
it. No question.
Yeah, I guess the bar was set so high, so high.
Yeah,
For
of
us to even
course.
question this now just shows.
Yeah. You're playing in the midfield where Zidane dominated for that country.
Yeah.
You're going to be compared to somebody like that, and it's hard to even
Well, I don't
come
think people
close
are
to that.
comparing him to that. I
No,
think it's
but
just the
you're gonna-
injury.
it's
It's
going
the
to be
prone
there.
injuries because like that does affect how good of an athlete you
No,
are.
I know, but we're talking about Pogba's expectations from such a young age.
But that's
Up
why we
until- up
had
until
bigger
the United
expectations
move.
because we thought he'd be healthy, and he wasn't, and he's never been fully healthy like all the time. He hasn't. Has he ever had 3 years where he hasn't gotten an injury? Maybe even 2.
Probably not.
Do you know what I mean?
I would say honestly, up until probably year 2 of United, at that point of his career,
Oh,
he was
unmatched.
not wasted. What a career! Look,
Yeah.
Paul Pogba. When United re-signed him, the excitement level at United was, wow, we got Paul Pogba back. Right? It was palpable.
Yeah.
And then it's just been the last 3 or 4 years of his career have just gone down through the injuries. So tough one. I feel bad for the guy. I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
me too.
If he's been juicing, I've got no sympathy for him. But we don't know what's happened there. But I do feel bad for the guy overall. He's had a real tough time off the pitch recently as well with that extortion case with his brother involved. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
But the Paul Pogba prior to the United move, the most recent one, man, what a player.
What a player.
All right, Bertie, got one more for you. One more.
No, you have one more.
You have one.
Oh, you want me to do this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only got one. I just had the Pogba one. That was it for me.
You can read this one if you want. A bad concert. This is a non-sports, obviously. A bad concert is worth leaving early. The reason I put this in there, last night I went to Peter Gabriel, right? Who's got some, despite what these idiots think, he's got some incredible songs in his library. He
Right,
really
I'm sure he does.
Famous songs.
Yeah.
Genesis was fantastic. You know, classic rock's okay. And this is after classic rock, by the way. Anyway, I know he's older now. I didn't expect a rock and roll show. I was bored out my skull on this show. It was so slow, so much talking between songs. And he's always been a little bit experimental as Peter Gabriel. I respect that. But not nearly enough bangers back to back to get that crowd going. The crowd was, an average age was about 77, mind you. I felt
So you
young
fit
and
right
hip.
in.
Is this really how you see me?
The average age is about
old do
70
you
years
see me?
old.
Huh?
You said the average age, what?
I think so.
70?
We had a discussion that we realized that I could actually, I could be Peraria's dad, which is really
Oh,
sobering
that's right,
to me.
yeah.
Right. So just, I'm not 77 though, although I feel like it some mornings. Is it worth? Because I mean, I don't know. You never leave a sporting event early, and I've never in my life left a concert early, but I did last night.
Right.
So would you? Should you leave a concert
Well,
early?
I've never been, I don't go to bad concerts. I would never go to a Pedro Gabriel concert if that's not happening.
A Peter Gabriel?
Yeah, Pedro, Peter Gabriel.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, I just don't. I've never left a concert early. Every concert I've ever been to, I stayed the whole time. It was a fantastic concert.
Yeah,
So
well, that's generally speaking. You go, you pick
Yeah.
and choose the ones.
But
you
if
want to go
if
to.
it's a bad
Yeah,
concert,
but you don't always know.
yeah, get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
See ya.
I did it actually over the summer because the sound, it wasn't that the concert itself was bad. I went
Oh,
to go
yeah.
see Rufus Du Sol, which are DJs, so it's electronic music, but it was at the Budweiser stage, and the sound doesn't hit like the lawn. So we were on the lawn. It goes to the back row, the seats, and bounce back. With a concert like that, you're not going to see a performance. You're not going to go see someone play like an instrument. You need it to be loud and in
Yep.
your face. You're going to.
Budweiser's got that problem. I saw Oasis there twice. First
And
time
it
was
was-
fantastic. Second time I was on the lawns.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Well, I was having
The wind was blowing
conversations
the
with
wrong
my friends
direction
like
and-
this. Yeah, I was like, so how's your day? And there's
Yeah.
a whole. So we left early because my thought was like, well, this isn't great, and I want to beat the traffic. And that's when I realized I was also
old?
old.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, I love beating the traffic. That's a veteran. You got to. I'm sorry.
No, you really shouldn't. That shouldn't be an excuse.
Well, it depends. I like going to concerts at smaller venues, more intimate, rather
Yeah.
than going to like a
Yeah.
Budweiser stage. Remember
Yeah.
Cool House in Toronto?
A fantastic venue.
Great venue.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, the trouble is, you
underground.
get these old
Where was-
campaigners like Peter Gabriel's. You know, the last hurrah. They're going to fill a stadium and get as much money
Wait,
as
where'd
possible.
you see him?
It was at the Scotia.
At
Oh,
the bank.
the worst.
No, not the worst. Rogers Center's the worst.
Roger
I
Center's.
saw GNR there a couple of weeks ago, and I love GNR.
That was
but
at.
yeah,
Roger-
well, they still
oh.
pack it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just too big.
Oh, I have been to a
Yeah.
bad concert. When it was Air Canada Center, I went to go. My buddy's a huge country guy. He took me to go watch Kenny Chesney, and we
don't
were
even
sitting
know
in
what
the,
any of that is.
sitting in the bleeders.
Boy.
It was brutal. I think we left early too. I
Yeah.
think we took
Yeah.
a limo there, by the way.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're doing it in style, huh? Were you wearing cowboy boots?
Wasn't my idea.
Were you wearing a Stetson?
No. I had a plaid shirt on though, because I'm like, I guess I got to wear plaid. I'm going to a country concert.
You stood out like a sore
Yeah.
thumb.
Oh, I
didn't you?
did. Yeah, I was dancing around.
With your cowboy boots?
Doing the
Did you have a
hee-haw,
hat?
hee-haw. No, I didn't have a hat. No,
Okay.
can't do
I
that.
love a good concert. I love live music, but I was just disappointed in Peter Gabriel.
Well, that's
last
what you
night.
get for going to Peter
Sorry.
Gabriel. Sure.
Shut up. Shut up. Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.